Chapter 18 and 19 How Hemadpant was accepted and blessed. Stories of Mr. Sate and Mrs. Deshmukh, encouraging good thoughts to fruition, variety in Updesh, teaching, reading, slander, and remuneration for labor. In the last chapter, Hemadpant described how a rich gentleman aspiring for Brahmagyana was treated by Baba. Now, in these two chapters, he described how Hemadpant himself was accepted and blessed by Baba. How Baba encouraged good thoughts and fructified them and gives us teachings regarding self-improvement, slander and remuneration for labor. Preliminary. It is a well-known fact that the Sadguru looks first to the qualifications of his disciples and then gives them suitable instructions without unsettling the mind in the least and lead them on the goal of self-realization. In this respect, some say what the Sadguru teaches or instructs should be divulged to others. They think that the instructions become useless if they are published. This view is not correct. The Sadguru is like a monsoon cloud. He pours down profusely, that is, scattering widely his nectar like teachings. These we should enjoy and assimilate to our heart's content, and then serve others with them, without any reserve. This rule should apply not only to what he teaches in our waking state, but to the visions he gives us in our dreams. To quote an instance, Buddhakoshik Rishi composed his celebrated Ramrakshasrotra, which he had seen in his dream. Like a loving mother forcing bitter but wholesome medicines down the throat of the children for the sake of their health, Sai Baba imparted spiritual instructions to his devotees. His method was not veiled or secret but quite open. The devotees who followed his instruction got the object. Sadgurus like Sai Baba open our intellect and shows us the divine beauties of the self and fulfill our tender longing of devotion. When this is done, our desire for sense object vanishes. Twin fruits of Viveka, that is discrimination, and Vairagya, that is dispassion or non-attachment, come to our hand, and knowledge sprouts up even in the sleep. All this we get when we come in contact with the saints, serve them and secure their love. The Lord, who fulfills the desires of his devotees, comes to our aid, removes our troubles and sufferings, and makes us happy. This process or development is entirely due to the help of the Sadguru, who is regarded as the Lord himself. Therefore, we should always be after the Sadguru, hear his stories, fall at his feet and serve him. Now we come to the main story, Mr. Sate. There was a gentleman named Mr. Sate who had attained some publicity many years ago during Crawford regime, that is Arthur Crawford, the first municipal commissioner of Bombay between the years 1865 and 1871, which was terminated by Lord Ray, then governor of Bombay. He suffered severe losses in trade. Other adverse circumstances gave him much trouble and made him sad and dejected. Being restless, he thought of leaving home and going out to a distant place. Man does not generally think of God, but when difficulties and calamities overtake him, he turns to them and prays for relief. If his evil actions had come to an end, God arranges his meeting with a saint who gives him proper directions regarding his welfare. Mr. Sate had similar experiences. His friends advised him to go to Shirdi, where so many people are flocking to get Baba's darshan for getting peace of mind and satisfaction of their wants. He liked the idea and once came to Shirdi in 1917. Seeing Baba's form, which was like eternal Brahman, self-luminous, spotless and pure, his mind lost its restlessness and became calm and composed. He thought that it was the accumulation of merits in his former birth that brought him to the holy feet of Baba. He was a man of strong will. He was at once started to make a Parayana of Guru Charitra. When the reading was finished in the Sapta, that is 7 days, Baba gave him a vision that night. It was to this effect: Baba and Guru Charitra in hand was explaining the contents to Mr. Sate, who was sitting in front and listening carefully. When he woke up, he remembered a dream and felt very happy. He thought that it was extremely kind of Baba, who awakens souls like this that are snoring in ignorance and makes them taste the nectar of Guru Charitra. Next day, he informed Kakasaheb Dikshit of his vision and requested him to consult Sai Baba regarding the meaning or significance, whether one saptah, that is week's reading, was sufficient or whether he should begin again. Kakasaheb Dikshit, when he got a suitable opportunity, asked Baba, Deva, what did you suggest to Mr. Sate by this vision? Whether he should stop or continue the saptah. He is a simple devotee. His desire should be fulfilled with the vision explained to him, and he should be blessed. Then Baba replied, you should make one more saptah of the book. If the work is studied carefully, the devotees will become pure and will be benefited. The Lord will be pleased and will rescue him from the bondage of mundane existence. At this time, Hemadpant was present there. He was shampooing Baba's legs. When he heard Baba's words, he thought in his mind, "What Mr. Satya did for a week only and got a reward, and I am reading it for 40 years with no result. His 7 day stay becomes fruitful, whereas my 7 years stay goes for nothing. Like a chatak bird, I am ever waiting for the merciful cloud of Baba to pour its nectar on me and bless me with his instruction." No sooner this thought crossed his mind, Baba knew it then and there, and it was the experience of the Bhaktas that Baba read and understood all their thoughts, and that he suppressed the evil thoughts and encouraged good ones. Reading Hemadpant's mind, Baba at once asked him to get up, go to Shama, get rupees 15 as dakshina, sit and chit-chat him for a while, and then return. Mercy had won in Baba's mind, so he issued this order, and who could disobey Baba's order? Hemadpant immediately left the masjid and went to Shama's house. He had just bathed and was wearing a dhota. He came out and asked Hemadpant, "How is that you are here now? It seems that you have come from the masjid. What did you look restless and dejected? Why are you alone? Please sit and rest." "Well, I shall just do my worship and return. In the meanwhile, you take pan vida, that is leaves with betel nuts. Let us then have a pleasant chat." After saying this, he went inside and Hemadpant sat alone in the front veranda. He saw in the window a well-known Marathi book called Nath Bhagvat. This was a commentary by Saint Eknath on the 11th skanda of the bigger Sanskrit work, the Bhagavad. At the suggestion or recommendation of Sai Baba, Mers, Babu Sahib Jok and Kaka Sahib Dikshit read it daily. Initially, Agaved Gita with his Marathi commentary named Bhavarta Deepika or Gyaneshwari, that is the dialogue between Krishna and his devotee Arjuna, and Nath Bhagavad, a dialogue between Krishna and his servant Uddhava, was also Eknath's other big work, that is Bhavarta Ramayana. When devotees came to Baba and asked us certain questions, he sometimes answered them in part and asked them to go and listen to the readings of the above mentioned work, which was the main treatise of Bhagavad Dharma. When the devotees went and listened, they got full and satisfactory replies to the question. Hemadpant also used to read some portion of the book Nath Bhagvat. That day he did not complete the portion of his reading, but had left it unfinished in order to accompany certain devotees who were going to the masjid. When he took up the book from Shama's window and casually opened it, he found to his surprise that the unfinished portion turned up. He thought that Baba had sent him very kindly to Shama's house for enabling him to complete his daily reading. So he went through the unfinished portion and completed it. As soon as this was over, Shama, after doing worship, came out and following conversation took place. Hemadpant: "I have come here with a message from Baba. He has asked me to return with rupees 15 as dakshina from you. Also to sit with you for a while and have a pleasant chat and then return to the masjid with you." Shama with surprise: "I have no money to give. Take my 15 namaskarams, that is bows, in lieu of rupees as dakshina to Baba." Hemadpant: "All right, your namaskaras are accepted. Now let us chit-chat for some time. Tell me stories and leelas of Baba, which will destroy your sins." Shama: "Then sit here for a while. Wonderful is the sport, that is the leela of this god, who know it already. I am a village rustic, while you are an enlightened citizen. You have some more leelas since you are coming here. How should I describe them before you? Well, take these leaves, betel nuts and chunam, and eat the pan vida while I go and dress myself and come out." In a few minutes, Shama came out and sat there talking with Hemadpant. He said, "The leelas of this Baba is inscrutable. There is no end to his leelas. Who can see them? He plays the sport with his leelas, still he is outside them. Why do we rustics know? Why doesn't Baba himself tell stories? Why does he send learned men like you to fool like me? His ways are inconceivable. I can only say that they are not story, which I shall relate to it. I know it is personal. As a devotee is resolute and determined, so is Baba's immediate response. Sometimes Baba puts the devotees to severe test and gives them upadesh, that is instructions." As soon as Hemadpant heard the word upadesh, a flash of lightning crossed his mind. He at once remembered the story of Mr. Satya's Guru Satcharitra reading and thought that Baba might have sent him to Shama in order to give him peace to his restless mind. However, he curbed this feeling and began to listen to Shama's stories. They all showed how kind and affectionate Baba was to his devotees. Hemadpant began to feel a sort of joy while listening to this. Then Shama began to tell the following story. Mr. Radhabai Deshmukh. There was an old woman by the name Radhabai. She was the mother of one Kashba Deshmukh. Hearing Baba's fame, she came to Shirdi with the people of Sangamner. She took Baba's darshan and was very much satisfied. She loved Baba intimately and resolved in her mind that she should accept Baba as her guru and take updesh from him. She knew nothing else. She was determined to fast until death. As long as Baba did not accept her and give her updesh or mantra, she stayed in a lodging and left out taking any food or water for 3 days. It was frightening by the ordeal of the woman and interceded with Baba on her behalf. I said, Deva, what is you have started? You brag so many people here. You know that the old lady, she is obstinate and depends on you entirely. She has resolved to fast unto death. If you don't accept an instructor, if anything worse happens, people will blame you and say that Baba did not instruct her and consequently she met her death. So take some mercy on her, bless her and instruct her. On seeing her determination, Baba sent for her, changed the turn of her mind by addressing her as follows. Oh mother, why are you subjecting yourself to unnecessary tortures and hastening your death? You are really my mother and I am your child. Take pity on me and hear me out. I tell you my own story. What if you listen carefully? Will do you good. I had a guru. He was a great saint and very merciful. I served him long, very long. Still he would not blow any mantras in my ears. I had a keen desire never to leave him, but to stay with him and serve him, and at all costs receive some instruction from him. But he had his own ways. He first got my head shaved and asked me 2 pieces as dakshina. I gave him the same at once. If you say that my guru was perfect, why should he ask for money and how should he call desireless? I replied plainly that he never cared for coins. What would he do with that? These 2 pieces were firm faith and the second one is patience. I gave them 2 pieces or things to him and he was pleased. I resorted to my guru for 12 years. He brought me up. There was no dearth of food and clothing. He was full of love. He was a love incarnate. How can I describe it? He loved me most. Rare is a guru like me. When I looked at him, he seemed as if he was in great meditation. And then we both filled with bliss. Day and night I gazed at him with no thoughts of hunger and thirst. Without him I felt restless. I had no other objective to meditate, nor any other than my guru to attain. He was my sole refuge. My mind was always fixed on him. This is one piece dakshina. Saburi. That is the other piece. I waited patiently and very long on my guru and served him. This saburi will ferry you across the sea of mundane existence. Saburi is manliness in man. It removes all sins and affliction, gets rid of calamities in various ways and casts aside all fears and ultimately gives you success. Saburi is the mine of virtues, consort of good thought. Nishtha, that is faith, and Saburi, that is patience, are like twin sisters loving each other very intimately. My guru never expected any other thing from me. He never neglected me but protected me at all times. I lived with him and was sometimes away from him. Still, I never felt the want or the absence of his love. He always protected me by his glance, just as the tortoise feeds her young sons. Whether they were near her or away from her on the other side of the river bank, by her loving looks, our mother, my guru, never taught me any mantra. Then how shall I blow mantra into your ears? Just remember that guru's tortoise like loving glance gives us happiness. Do not try to get mantra or upadesh from anybody. Make me the sole objective of your thought and actions and you will no doubt attain Paramatma. Look at me wholeheartedly and I in turn look at you similarly. Sitting in the masjid I speak the truth, nothing but the truth. No sadhanas nor proficiency in 6 shastras are necessary. Have faith and confidence in your guru. Believe fully that the guru is the sole actor or doer. Blessed is he who knows the greatness of his guru and thinks him to be Hari, Hara and Brahma incarnate. Instructed in this way, the old lady was convinced. She bowed to Baba and gave up her fast. Hearing the story carefully and attentively, and marking its significance and appropriateness, Baba Hemadpant was very agreeably surprised. Seeing this wonderful Leela of Baba, he was moved from top to toe. He was overflowing with joy. His throat was choked and he was not able to utter a single word. Shama, on seeing him in this condition, asked, "What is the matter with you? Why are you silent? How many innumerable Leelas shall I describe?" Just at that time, the bell in the masjid began to ring, proclaiming that the noon worship and the arti ceremony had begun. Therefore, Shama and Hemadpant hurried to the masjid. Babu Sahib Jog, who had started the worship, women were in the masjid and men started standing below in the open courtyard and they were all singing loudly the arti in chorus to the accompaniment of drums. Shama went up, pulling Hemadpant with him. He sat in the right and Hemadpant in front of Baba. On seeing this, Baba asked Hemadpant to give him dakshina brought from Shama. He replied that Shama gave him namaskaras in lieu of rupees and that there in person. Baba said, "All right, now let me know whether you both had chit-chat and so tell me what you talked about." Not minding the sounds of the bells and the drums or the chorus songs, Hemadpant was eager to tell what he had talked and narrate Baba. Baba also anxious to hear. So he left the bolster and leaned forward. Hemadpant said all that they had talked about was very pleasant, and especially the story of the old lady was most wonderful. And on hearing it, he thought that his Leela said inexplicable, and under the guise of the story, he really blessed them. Baba then said, "Wonderful is the story. How were you blessed? I would like to know everything in detail from you. So tell me all about it." Then Hemadpant related in full the story which he heard little while before, which he had made a lasting impression in his mind. Hearing this, Baba was pleased and asked him, "Did the story strike you and did you get the significance?" He said, "Yes, Baba, the restlessness of my mind had vanished and got true peace and rest and come to know the true path." Then Baba spoke as follows: "My method is quite unique. Remember well this one story and it will be very useful. To get the knowledge or realization of the self, dhyana, that is meditation, is necessary. If you practice it continuously, the vrittis, that is the thoughts, will be pacified. Being quite desireless, you should meditate on the Lord who is in all creatures, and when the mind is concentrated, the goal will be achieved. Meditate always on my formless nature, which is knowledge incarnate, consciousness and bliss. If you cannot do this, meditate on my form from top to toe, as you see here day and night. As you go on doing this, your vrittis will concentrate on one point, and the distinction between the dhyata, that is meditation, and dhyana, that is act of meditation, and dhyaya, this meditation upon, will be lost, and the meditator will be one with the consciousness and be merged with the Brahman. The tortoise is on one bank of the river, her young ones on the other side. She neither gives milk nor want to them. Her mere glance gives them nutrition. The younger ones do nothing but remember their mother. The tortoise glances to the young ones. A downpour of nectar is the only source of sustenance and happiness. Similar is the relation between the Guru and the disciples. When Baba uttered these words, the chorus of the Aarti song stopped, and all cried out loud in their voice, "Victory be to Sai Satguru Sai Maharaj, with existence, knowledge and bliss." Dear leaders, let us imagine that we are at this time standing amongst the crowd in the masjid, and let us join them in the Jai Jaikar. After the ceremony was over, prasad was distributed. Baba Sahib Jog advanced as usual, and after saluting, Baba gave his handful of sugar candy. Baba pushed all this quantity into the hands of Hemadpant and said to him, "You will take the story to the heart and remember it well. Your state will be sweet as a sugar candy. All your desires will be fulfilled and you will be happy." Hemadpant bowed before Baba and implored, Do me a favor like this. Bless and protect me always." Baba replied, "Hear these stories, meditate on it and assimilate its spirit. Then will always be remembered, and meditate on the Lord, who will manifest himself to you." Dear readers, Hemadpant got prasad of sugar candy then, and we get the prasad of sugar candy or nectar of this story. Let us drink to our heart's content, meditate on it and assimilate it, and be strong and happy by Baba's grace. Amen. Towards the end of 19th chapter, Hemadpant had dealt with some other matters which are given below. Baba's advice regarding our behavior. The following words of Baba were general and invaluable. If these are kept in the mind and acted upon, they will always do good. Unless there is some relationship or connection, nobody goes anywhere. If any men or creatures come to you, do not discourteously drive them away, but receive them well and treat them with due respect. Sri Hari will be certainly pleased if you give water to the thirsty, bread to the hungry, clothes to the naked, and your veranda to strangers for sitting and resting. If anybody wants money from you and you are not inclined to give, do not give, but do not bark at them like a dog. Let anybody speak hundreds of things against you. Do not resent by giving a bitter reply. If you already tolerate such things, you will certainly be happy. Let the world go topsy-turvy. You return where you are, standing or staying in your own place. Look on calmly at the show of all things passing before you. Demolish the wall of differences that separates you from me, and then the road for our meeting will be clear and open. The sense of differentiation as I and thou is the barrier that keeps the disciple from the master, and unless this is destroyed, the state of union or attunement is not possible. Allah Malik, that is God, is the sole proprietor, nobody else is the protector. His method of work is extraordinary, invaluable and inscrutable. His will be done, and he will show us the way and satisfy our heart's desire. It is an account of Ramanubhada, that is relationship in past life, that we have come together. Let us love and serve each other and be happy. He who attains the supreme goal of life is immortal and happy. All others merely exist. Live so long as they breathe. encouraging good thoughts for future. It is interesting to know how Baba encouraged good thoughts. You have to surrender yourself completely to him with love and devotion, and they will see you how. He helps you off and on in many things. Some saints have said that when you get a good thought immediately after awakening from sleep, and if you develop the same afterwards during the day, your intellect will be unfolded and your mind will attain calmness. Hemadpant wanted to try this on one Wednesday night before going to bed. He thought tomorrow is Thursday, an auspicious day, and the place that is Shirdi is so holy. So let me pass the whole day in remembering and chanting the Ram Nama. And then he slept. Next morning, when he got up, he remembered without any effort the name of Rama and was much pleased. He then, after finishing his morning duties, went to see Sai Baba with flowers. When he left the Dikshit Vada and was passing Bhuti Vada, he heard a beautiful song that was being sung nicely by Dabolkar in the masjid before Baba. The song was Guru Kripanjyo Pao Mere Bhai, that is by Ekanath, in which he says that he got Kolriam in the form of Baba's grace, which had opened his vision and made him see Rama in and out in sleep, dream, and waking state and everywhere. There were so many songs. Why are the songs particularly chosen by Aurangabadkar, a devotee of Baba? This is not a curious coincidence arranged by Baba to feed the determination of Hemadpant to sing unceasingly Ramanama during the day. All saints agree on and lay upon the efficacy of uttering Rama's name in fulfilling the ambition of the Bhaktas and in protecting and saving them from all calamities. Variety in Updesh, slander condemned. Sai Baba required no special place nor any special time for giving instruction. Whenever an occasion demanded, he gave them freely. Once it so happened that the devotee of Baba revealed another behind his back before other people. On leaving aside merit, he dwelt on the faults of his brother and spoke sarcastically that the hearers were disgusted. Generally, we see that people have a tendency to scandalize others unnecessarily, and this brings on hatred and ill will. Saints see scandal in other way. They say that there are very ways of cleansing or removing dirt, that is by means of earth, water, and soap, etc. But a scandalmonger has got a way of his own. He removes the dirt of others by his tongue. So, in a way of oblige the person of whom he reviles for what he is to be thanked. Baba said that his own method of correcting the scandalmonger. He knew by his omniscience that the slander had done, and what he met at noon near the Lendi, Baba pointed out to him a pig that was eating filth near the fence and said to him, "Behold how with relish it is gorging dung. Your conduct is similar. You go on revealing your own brethren to your heart's content. After performing many deeds of merit, you are born as a man. And if you act like this, your Shirdi will Shirdi help you in any way?" Needless to say that the Bhakta took the lesson to their heart and went away. In this way, Baba went on giving instructions whenever necessary. If there was born in the mind and acted upon, the spiritual goal is not far off. This is the proverb which says, "If there be my Hari, he will feed me on my cot." This proverb is only true in respect of food and clothing. But if anybody trusting in this sits quiet and does nothing in spiritual matters, he will be ruined. One has to exert himself to his utmost for attaining self-realization. The more he endeavors, the better for him. Baba said that he was omnipresent, occupying land, air, country, world, light and heaven, and that he was not limited to removing the misunderstandings of those who thought that Baba was only his body, 3 cubits and a half in length. He incarnated himself in the form, and if any devotee meditated upon him day and night with complete self-surrender, he experienced complete union with him, like sweetness and sugar and waves and sea, eye with his luster. He who wants to get rid of the cycle of birth and death should lead a righteous life, with his mind calm and composed. He should always engage himself in good thoughts, should do his duties, and surrender himself heart and soul to him. He need not then be afraid of anything. He who trusts him entirely, hears and expounds his leelas, and does not think of anything else, is sure to attain self-realization. Baba asked many to remember his name and surrender to him, but to those who wanted to know who they were, "Who am I?" inquiry, he advised Shravanam, that is study, and Mananam, that is meditation, to some. He advised remembering God's name to others, hearing his leelas to some, worship of his feet to others, reading and study Adhyatma Ramayana, Gyaneshwari, and other sacred scriptures. Some he made him sit near his feet, some he sent to Khandoba temple, and some he advised the repetition of the 1,000 names of Vishnu, and some the study of Chandogya Upanishad and Grita. There was no limit nor instruction to his instructions. To some he gave in person, to others he gave in the vision by dream. To one addicted to drink, he appeared in the form, sat on his chest, pressed it until and left him after he gave a promise not to touch liquor anymore. To some he explained some mantras like Gurur Brahma in dreams. To some who was practicing Hatha Yoga, he sent word that he should leave off Hatha Yoga practices, sit quietly and wait saburi. It is impossible to describe all these ways and methods. In order worldly dealings, he set examples by his actions, one of which is given below. Remuneration for labor. One day at noon, Baba came near Radhakrishna Mai's house and said, "Bring me a ladder." Some man brought it and set it against the house as directed by Baba. He climbed up on the roof of the Vaman Gondkar's house and passed the roof of Radhakrishna Mai's house and then got down from the other corner. What object Baba had, none could know. Radhakrishna Mai was at that point shivering with malaria. It may have been to drive away that fever that may have gone there. Immediately after getting down, Baba paid 2 rupees to the person who brought the ladder. Somebody asked Baba, "Why did you pay him so much?" He replied that nobody should take the labor of others in vain. The workers should be paid, yes, promptly and liberally. Bo to Sri Sai, peace be to all.